Hey guys, Mark with Ice Runner. We're out here today. I want to introduce a new line of products we have. We're calling this line Versa Rack. And one of the big struggles that ice fishermen have is how do I get everything on the lake? So guys that are pulling sled houses, usually they have enough room, but you get into slush, you get into water, and a lot of guys want alternatives to bring their equipment out on the ice. So I'm going to show you Versa Rack and what it is and what abilities you have to add to it, and everything you can do on with our new system. So if you want, here is the bulk of the idea is we're going to have a hitch that can go into any four-wheeler, UTV, snowmobile. We're going to have an adapter to go to a sled as well, and you're going to be able to hook all the accessories I'm going to show you today to your UTV. So obviously the idea is you still want to be able to pull something whether you have a sled or a sled house without losing the ability to add the rest of it. So we'll come back, I'll attach this up to the wheeler and show you some of the options we have. Okay guys, so what we did was hook the Versa Hitch to the back of a Polaris. We've got the sled house hooked to it, so as you see you don't lose your towing capacity. Now a couple things to point out down here. Both of these units, if you have a Polaris, they've got the smaller input. I think it's 1.25 inches. So we've got an adapter there, and both of these units are threaded. So the idea of threading them is obviously it's tight, so when I go to move this thing, there's no movement to it. You know, there's no wobble, there's no banging, because we do have an ice auger attachment, which I'll show you, and we don't want that ice auger bouncing around. So, basically, this is the way it's set up, and whatever you're doing, you know, if you've got the need for a rack, we sell the Versa Rack that will pop in like this and screw down to whatever you're looking for here, and it's that simple. So all depends where you're at and what you're doing, but that's the beauty, is you can pick and choose. Is once you've got the main unit of the Versa Rack, we can go from another rack like this to, we've got a little universal adapter that's pretty cool that lets the guys do what they want to do with it. So I'll show you later, but I put a piece of plywood on here. I do a lot of spearing, and it's great for a couple spear houses and a couple guys to load the spear houses up on the plywood, tie it down, and away you go. So we'll go through the individual options, but that's two of them. And this unit here is, I'll grab another one that's pretty neat. Again, my wheeler, I've got the box already, but a lot of guys want something that's, you know, fully enclosed. So same thing here. We want another rack, then we've got an enclosed box in case you're in the rain or whatever. So, and again, that is done off of that universal piece. So if you see that on the bottom, that's what's screwed to the box. So we're going to make this available on however you guys want to customize your Versa Rack. So one of the items that everybody struggles with is how do I get my auger out. So we did make a auger holder, which obviously slips right in there as like everything else. Screws down tight like this, and we're good to go. So you know, the Versa Hitch, I'll show you another option, but this is neat. Is I've lost augers going down the ice before, so having something that locks down tight is neat. So one of my favorite options on this is the 5-gallon bucket holder, because we all know the equipment you can hold in a 5-gallon bucket and how flexible they are. So the cool thing about this is obviously they're going to pop in like that. We do have a secure strap that you can go around like that to make sure she's not going to bounce out. You know what this works great for is obviously your Vexilars, and you know whatever else you want to stack in there. So and the one thing, for those of you that have a auger carrier already, we did make a bracket, which is cool. Ours hooks to it just like yours would, but you have the option. And we did this, and you know, maybe some people would say it's a little more cumbersome than it has to be, but what we wanted to do is have a double lockdown on this thing. So it bolts from the bottom, bolted on both sides like that, and you can obviously buy ours. If you have one already, you should be able to adapt it to the 5-gallon bucket. So that's the beauty of this system, is you do have the options of hooking an accessory to an accessory. So, we understand that everybody has different needs, depending on if you're on the East Coast, if you're, in northern Minnesota where you're doing sleds. A lot of guys have too much snow for the wheeler. I'm going to show how a couple of these go on the UTV. It's obviously the same. With the flexibility of the Versa Hitch, be able to move with the back of the unit. So I want to show you one more option that we did that I use all the time. I think you guys are going to like. Okay, so one of the options I showed you earlier was this versatile piece that we can do whatever with. So I showed you the box that was connected to it. So one of the pieces that I like to use is this. And obviously this platform is made where we can go ahead and stick a couple houses on top of there. I mentioned earlier for spearing, Ice Runner makes a spear house. So I've taken a couple of the spear houses, put them on there, strap them down, and we're good to go. We are going to do a fillet board too. That's another need that a lot of people want. So we're going to have a fillet board that actually attaches to here. So you're ice fishing, summer fishing, whatever, you have nowhere to clean the fish, there's going to be a fillet board that we can attach to that as well. But just to show you kind of how it works. So that's kind of the idea of the Versa Hitch, just depending what you guys are doing. Like I said, you're pulling a sled house, there's no slush, there's no water, you have no issues, we can fill the sled house up. But a lot of us don't have that luxury and need more capacity. So we expect this to do well with the fishermen. Ice fishermen is who we're directing it at. But I can come up with a ton of uses for hunting. I can have a ton of uses for guys using them on the farm. So we'll break now from the ATV and go to the UTV and show you a quick connect on that and show you what options we have there. So now we've got the Versa Hitch hooked to the new Honda 1000. So the first thing you'll notice, and I mentioned this in the other video, but here's where it comes into play, is I have this unit in the same distance that it was on the ATV. But for the UTV, you can see that it's got a tailgate, so it's not going to work. So what I need to do is loosen these up and pull this back. Tighten it back down. And now I'm able to, depending what I'm doing again for the day, but I'm able to lower down my tailgate. So that's, again, the Versa Hitch can be done. It's not only the name to add the different accessories to it, but whatever you're trying to do with it, any kind of vehicle. And like I said, we will have not this particular unit, but another unit that'll utilize all of our accessories off a snowmobile. So I'll show you how we'll hook a couple 5-gallon bucket and maybe the ice auger adapter to it, and we'll show you how that works. Okay, what we've done is attach the Versa Hitch to the side-by-side. And now we're going to show you the 5-gallon bucket holder, like I said, with the our ice auger holder attached to it. And again, you could, if you have an ice auger holder already, it will attach with the universal brackets. It comes both with holes for a smaller and a larger. So everything we've looked at, these brackets will adapt to the tubing. So here's the deal with this. Same as before. Load your 5-gallon buckets up with whatever you would like. Strap them down for extra security. Good old handles are always in your way. That's the way it works. And we'll pop the ice auger in there quick. Sometimes it takes a twist of the blade to get her in there. Lock her in like that. We're good to go. So everything I showed you with the ATV obviously can be adapted to the UTV. It's all about making your life easier on the ice. So Versa Hitch with the Versa attachments, pretty much nothing you can bring on the ice and keep it up out of the way, out of the slush, out of the water. So, all right guys, well that's it for Versa Hitch and the Versa accessories. Just wanted to say thanks for your support with all of our ice houses, and all the accessories, all the ice houses and everything else we offer can be found on icerunnerhouses.com. So Thanks a ton. Tight lines, everybody.